Well, good evening, Karen and Tom. That's right. The aircraft is still here. It is expected to be removed tomorrow, weather permitting, of course. It will be guarded by state troopers overnight. And it's actually the state troopers who say it was a job well done by the pilot, who stayed calm in what you can imagine was a very stressful situation. Traffic was backed up for most of the day, so drivers could catch a glimpse of a rare sight.
You don't see this very often, but thankfully it worked out today. Like I said, the pilot kept his composure. He remained calm in a stressful situation. That's what we're thankful for today.
The plane, which crash landed around 10 a.m., now rests on the side of I-10 East next to bushes.
I call it a crash.
The pilot, James Ritter, spoke with media after, still in disbelief.
As I was coming down for the landing, I think I skimmed across the top of an 18-wheeler, which threw me over to the side and into the trees I went.
As seen in this animation from Radar Box, Ritter had taken off from the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. He says he was finishing his flight when trouble started.
Engine started shuddering, and then all of a sudden it just locked up, dead prop, and I'm a glider, so I'm trying to find a place to put it. And I picked interstate to land on.
Remarkably, Ritter walked away with a cut hand. Nobody else was hurt.
We're assisting the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, during the investigation. They're the investigating agency. We're going to help with traffic control and any other assistance they may need.
As officials look over the plane for answers as to how this happened, Ritter is just happy it didn't end tragically.
Thank the Lord that I'm walking away, you know, first and foremost, but it definitely is considered a crash in my book.
Now, as Ton mentioned earlier, lanes on the interstate are open at this time, but officials warn people and drivers that if this aircraft is removed tomorrow, there will be lane closures. In the meantime, they're also encouraging drivers to maintain their speed and not slow down, because that is what's causing a lot of the backup and the delays tonight. Reporting live, Jay Cunningham, Eyewitness News. Carnival and Mardi Gras are always such a great time. A lot of people even come here. They love watching the floats and parade go by Gallier Hall. But of course, with these events, a lot of people are here, and with that brings a concern for safety, and that is something that officials addressed today. 1 year ago, Mardi Gras celebrations turned chaotic when gunfire erupted in not one but two separate shootings.
All of a sudden we heard pop, pop. Everybody just started running.
Yeah, I grabbed my son. I ran behind that big oak tree right there.
In the CBD, a 15 and 16-year-old were both shot but survived. Then nearly 2 hours later on St. Charles, a man was killed after a fight broke out.
It's just real unfortunate that it happens, especially during such a fun time in the city where, you know, people are supposed to be enjoying family and friends.
Now in the 2019 Carnival season, officials addressed their upcoming safety plans.
Well, good morning again, and thank you all so much for being here.
Saying this year they're ready.
We'll be all hands on deck.
And not playing around.
Troopers will be assigned to the Mounted Division with the New Orleans Police Department, which is something new this year. We will also have our air support assets, and vehicle patrols will be highly visible within the city.
State troopers, NOPD, and other agencies will work together patrolling the area in uniform and undercover. Superintendent Sean Ferguson adds those patrols will be in various spots, including streets around parade routes.
They're not just standing on the route. We're going to have a contingency behind the route on some of the back streets, some of the areas in which we know we have had some problems in the past historically along that St. Charles corridor more specifically.
Which is where the one shooting happened last year, one of two tragedies authorities say should have never taken place.
At the end of the day, use common sense. We cannot do it alone. It takes all of us to do the right thing.
Well, there will be about 170 state troopers who will be helping out the NOPD as well as partnering with other law enforcement agencies. The main thing, though, is if you see something, say something. They say if you see something suspicious, you need to report it to law enforcement, because the overall goal is for everyone to have a great and safe time. Reporting live, Jay Cunningham, Eyewitness News.
He's dangerous, watch out! He's hitting people, watch out!
This man was terrifying. All he wanted to do was hit people. He didn't care.
The video will make you gasp. In it, a man is seen walking around Bourbon and Dumaine streets, choosing random targets, then hitting them.
I saw him punch 4 people.
Kalicia Smith saw the bizarre scene unfold last Wednesday night while celebrating her birthday.
My one thought was, you hurt my friend and you can't get away with it, and we won't let you do this here in our community.
I was stuck here.
That friend, Don Kesslering, says he came without warning.
I fell down on the ground, got up, and my hands were just numb and in pain at the same time. And I realized that a man struck me. This was a random act of violence, and it's a misdemeanor. It's not a misdemeanor to me because I went to the hospital.
The two are still trying to make sense of it.
So my question is, how do you prevent this man from hurting someone else?
But say the situation taught them there is good in people.
And you have everybody, black, white, tall, short, old, all, and we were trying to just stop. We were trying to stop him without hurting anybody, all together. Just because one person is broken doesn't mean all the French Quarter is scary.
And while those targeted try and heal,
So we really want people to keep an eye out for him.
their message to others is be on the lookout.
If something happens like this to people, say something, do something.
Because this random act, they say, could happen again to anyone, anywhere. Jay Cunningham, Eyewitness News. Well, Natalie and Ton, people tell me it's extremely unsettling, and while they do feel like they have seen crime improve somewhat over the years, they also say that this is an issue that still needs to be addressed. When it comes to crime in New Orleans,
a long time ago, somebody broke into my house.
it seems people have a story, like Katie Kaufman,
I was home alone and heard some glass break.
who was 8.5 months pregnant when a man tried breaking into her home several months ago.
I came up to the front room and he had his hand in through the window and was trying to open our door.
For New Orleans police, the past 24 hours have been busy responding to at least 7 victims of multiple armed robberies. The news isn't necessarily surprising for some, it's disheartening.
I love this city and I mostly feel safe, but that's concerning.
The incidents happened all over town, including on the 1400 block of Urania Street, where police say a 21-year-old woman riding her bike was robbed at gunpoint.
I think that it's scary when you think about somebody who has a weapon and all of a sudden like your life is in danger.
New Orleans police say the number of armed robberies have actually dropped each year since 2016. They also add that the year-to-date rate has dropped 27% when compared with this same time last year.
Statistics can be played with a little bit, so I worry about that. But if the trend is in the positive direction, that's good.
Some still believe work is needed to try and lower crime overall in the city.
It's always an issue is if anyone has to deal with crime.
Of course, at night you feel a little uncomfortable, and so, I feel safe with our neighbors, but yeah, you always kind of wonder, what could happen.
And despite hearing the unfortunate circumstances of the past day, people say they won't let it stop them from moving on.
I think everybody should try and be self-aware.
I'm not going to let fear hold me back from living my life, though.
Now, the reports regarding these incidents didn't specify any injuries. You can actually read more about these incidents by going to our website, WWLTV.com. Reporting live, Jay Cunningham, Eyewitness News. A story that began in Mid-City has taken us to Harahan, River Ridge, and Wagaman. Now we go to Lakeview, where late Monday night the mysterious booms were heard again, this being one of them.
Loud boom, woke up, startled. First thing I thought was a train car exploded.
The surveillance video shows a flash of light followed by the loud bang.
If it was a transformer, I imagine Entergy would have been out here fixing something.
And it's not like you lost power or anything.
No.
A noise loud enough to awaken cars and people in the area.
You get to the point where this is continuing to happen.
Catherine Norton just can't figure it out, but knows this one hit close to home.
Thought that, okay, maybe there's a derailment, or maybe a car ran into another one, or something of that nature. But it's not, because I'm used to these tracks. When you've been here since 1984, you're used to all the sounds.
Norfolk Southern had nothing unusual to report. Also, the video shows no train in the area at the time of the incident.
It's some kind of explosion that generates light, some kind of energy.
We also confirmed there's no filming in the neighborhood, a theory that's been floating around.
Whatever it was out of scope of the camera.
Even with video showing these bomb-like sounds, its source remains a mystery, leaving many with more questions than answers as to what it could be.
It's just bizarre.
The curiosity, I think, is the biggest factor. People want to know, what is it? What is the sound?
Look, I spent a lot of time today reaching out to multiple agencies. That includes the New Orleans Police Department, City Hall, City Park, and they are unfamiliar with what's going on. They had no reports of it. I also reached out to Entergy. They said it was nothing on their end. Now, a theory that has been mentioned before is hydrogen-filled balloons. And when those are lit, it gives off a similar type of effect to the flashing light as well as the explosive sound afterwards. That's not confirmed, but again, that is just a theory. Reporting live, Jay Cunningham, Eyewitness News. As I mentioned, we have been here for quite some time, and I can tell you there are a lot of people who want to get home. Planes taking off, luggage rolling. The airport Thursday was a symphony of motion. Inside, the music continued.
A nice and smooth background.
As worried travelers,
hopefully we'll make it home,
mixed in with the usual hustle and bustle.
I've noticed more passengers lingering around more so than usual. Usually they come and go more quickly.
Cancellations and delays were seen on the board.
So far, so good.
Some keeping a close watch on the radar.
It's stressful because you're trying to get home and now you're in an airport and you're stuck here.
Michelle Pico.
The weather here has been spectacular.
Tried switching to an earlier flight.
It's a 180.
But couldn't.
We'll just sit here and eat lots of airport food.
Joining others who are in the same boat.
When you don't have a choice, then you accept the situation, and that's it.
Have you looked at the radar at all?
I have not. It's probably a good thing that I don't.
As many waited for the storms to move through,
there's no panic.
Life inside the airport carried on, with some lucky enough to board and others who hoped they'd be able to do the same.
Positivity of being able to make it home.
Yeah, a lot of people are trying to stay positive throughout all of this. It is encouraged if you are flying out of the airport this evening to check